Ladies and gentlemen, it is Monday after. It's the Monday after the long. Oh, I'm sorry, that was crazy. And we are here to talk Andor. It's been a while since we've been here, right? So welcome back. How was your do I say holiday? How was your long weekend?
It was a thing that happened.
Yeah, okay, yeah. Because again, I'm not gonna say it to anyone. I don't know what people celebrate or what they don't. I'm just gonna ask how the extra long weekend was.
Extra long
Uh,
weekend.
yes,
Extra long American long weekend was. So
right. Yes. Not the memorial one or the.
hey, look, we it was a 4 day weekend for us. They gave us Wednesday off,
Oh,
so
nice,
it was nice.
nice.
That part was nice.
Yes, yes. Did you get anything for Black Friday?
For Black Friday,
Yeah.
no, but I bought some stuff on Cyber Monday.
Oh, okay. Oh, these days are bullshit.
That was bullshit, but I took advantage of those sales. 10% back. You got it. You tricked me. Oh,
Right.
I get a
Oh
whole
my.
$30 back.
So amazing. That's gas money. That's gas money.
Oh, it's in store credit, man. I just gotta spend it on something else.
Oh, okay. Even better. Come back and
Oh yeah,
shop with
even
us.
better. Sure,
Right.
sure.
And pay full price this time. Uh so Andor happened. I think last we spoke it was the prison break. And so
Yes. Right? Or do we did there
yes,
was one was there one episode?
it
No, there
was
was
10. It was 10. And it was two up. Yeah,
oh yeah, okay, yeah.
10 was
10
the
was the prison
prison
break?
break. Yeah.
Okay.
So one thing I
So
noticed, I'm just gonna go ahead. One thing I noticed for sure is they're not doing a 3 episode arc anymore. It's just they're getting to the shits. Like, listen, and
yeah, yeah, I guess that I didn't the 11th episode I thought was noticeably weaker than many of the most recent
really,
episodes. Yes.
huh? You said that many of the other episodes, or
Like
just
I felt that they
inside
had like
this
a
three?
pretty good stretch
Uh huh.
from like the end of Aldani to the prison break.
Correct.
I thought was like a great stretch. And then I felt like the 11th episode was a misstep in like interest. There's some good stuff in that episode,
Correct.
but there was like it was like a misstep in like the pacing and just kind of ending. And I did not like the big emotional climax of the 11th episode. I thought it was kind
Oh.
of stupid.
Oh. Oh yeah, the very end of it, right?
The very end of it.
It was kind of weak. You know what's
It
funny? It went back all the way back to like the ending of the first episode, where like ending, you know,
well,
end
like
here
when
now.
Lucian, right? Lucian,
Yeah,
right? Or
Luthen.
Luthien, right? Luthien. It's just escapes in his super ship. I was like, I didn't need this. Like, what was the point of this? Like, I get it was cool, I
Cool. I
guess.
mean, we haven't had again. This is Star Wars. Let's get that right. We haven't had any cool flight scenes. Okay, we had the escape from Aldani, so they needed one, right? Do you think? No,
No,
no.
I didn't felt like they needed one. Like,
I
I was
mean,
like,
at some point they would have to escape from the Empire. Is it the Empire? Yeah, it is the Empire.
yeah, I guess, but like, it didn't like he was like chilling, and then the Empire was like, "You prepare to be boarded," and he was like, "Oh, I don't want to get boarded." And then does his like cool like laser guns. And it's like I don't need this. Like
I,
I don't know. I was
I think the craziest part of that whole thing was the fact that um they found his they found they his whatever identifying number, and they were like, oh yeah, it's legit. And the guy was like, do we still send the boarding party? And he's like, yeah, we might need the practice. I like that part because I'm like, okay,
I like
at
that part too.
least at least continue to be shitty, right? Like just continue to heap on the fact that the Empire is like a shitbag place, like
Yes.
like so they were consistent in that manner, but it was kind of comical, right? To the escape. And I think the coolest part of the escape was the when he did the laser sting and spun around and killed two ships. They killed two fighters. I was like, okay,
Okay, I was kind of like, all right, that's
right.
cool.
It was like, okay, and then oh man.
I guess it felt like they had money left over, and they
Right.
were just like, okay, we
Hmm. So this prison that we built, I guess we didn't really do anything with it. We still have a lot of budget power. So let's make a cool space fight. Um that would make sense. One more thing. I think one more thing, something that actually bothered me in that episode was if they're monitoring uh Ferrex, all the calls, ingoing and outgoing calls from Ferrex, why did nobody know that Andor had called home? Again, I know it's a back channel, right? But they monitor everything, right? They should be hip on every frequency. Or you think that there's just some that like we're not bothered with?
I
That
just
bothered me.
well, I think they were monitoring like all the mainstream things, but they specifically knew about that thing that
The
Bix
tower.
used.
Yeah, okay.
Right, they specifically knew about that. I forget who sold them out about it.
Maybe the
Uh,
black guy.
it might have been.
Right.
Uh, and
Don't.
but no, what was my point here? Oh, right. And that's why they caught Bix and those people. But I don't think they were necessarily specifically monitoring like all channels possible, like ever. So I'm sure like stuff could sneak through. But
I might do a rewatch just to make sure that they weren't
sure.
monitoring because like Dedra was like we have to like I mean after she called Biggs, keep monitoring all of the I think because at some point Andor has to call home. So I don't know why I call him Andor. His name is Cassian. Andor is his last name. Mr. Andor.
Mr.
Um,
And Mr. Cassian Andor.
right.
Captain Cassian Andor.
Right. So that was just those were the only I think yeah. Along with the space fight, those were the only two things that kind of bothered me. But I'm gonna be against you here. I thought episode 11 was fine. Like I don't know if I think it was pretty okay.
Yeah, it was okay. Like none of these episodes were bad. Like,
Hmm.
but I
Hmm.
felt like it was like a misstep, I guess, for me. Although it was cool because I
Okay.
rewatched Rogue One and I didn't realize that his friend from the jail that he escapes with is
Is
in Rogue One,
right, right.
which I was like, oh wait, that guy is. I was like, oh, it's the same dude. Like
So that's a pretty
that's a
that's
nice
pretty
touch.
cool. Yeah, that was a pretty cool
Yeah.
callback. Um so what I did think was absolutely hilarious is when they're both like, we should steal that jumper and we're just gonna run. We're just gonna take off and steal the jumper while the people, the Namekians, no, not Namekians, the people who the indigenous planet people are just gonna watch us steal it, and we're just gonna keep running and just expect
Yeah.
that nothing. I hollered laughing when they were caught in the spider webs. Like, come on, okay. And then he's like, "Should we return them to the prison?" Listen, I knew it
They're
wasn't
like,
gonna
nah.
happen, but I thought it was fucking funny. I thought that was funny. I thought that was one of the best parts of episode 11 to me was the beginning of it mostly. Um,
Yeah, I thought the emotional note where Andor finds out that his mom died, I think
mm,
Diego Luna really like sold
sold
that.
right.
I thought was a really good scene. And then
So
all the stuff with like Ferrex and like B2 and stuff, I thought was also like
yeah, like
really
B,
hard.
yeah, yeah. It's funny that a lot of the emotional beats came from a droid. Like a
Very
lot of
classic Star Wars.
I know that's crazy, but yeah, a lot of B it had all the emotional beats, and I thought that was pretty great. Um, I don't. Okay, so Val annoys me a little bit. Like, but I get it. Spoiled rich girl who's doing this for now. I don't even. Her reasoning is probably just because I hate my parents and I'm just gonna do this. That's how I feel. She's kind of
I
annoying
I think that was. I mean, she kind of annoyed me too. Like, it makes sense for her character,
Yes, it does.
but like her being a little bit on the annoying side. But like you kind of like you get where she comes from, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
she, wants to rebel against society. This like I
Right.
guess Tyrolean society is homophobic, which is like slightly implied. Like
Right.
they don't explicitly come out and like say it in like her scenes with Ma and Mothma, but it's like under the ground. And so sort
Right.
of like her, and they're supposedly like a peaceful people, right? Like that's been established like before.
Oh, you know what? I'm not
Yeah,
even gonna lie.
we already
I
got to
was.
that. We haven't got to that yet. That
Oh man, that's.
look, that
Yeah, that was strong. But when she walks in and she sees Mon's daughter doing like the rituals, the marriage rituals, I was like, oh, shit's about to hit the fan. Oh man. We took a break for the holidays, my friend.
yeah. Well,
So
I was
yeah.
sick also,
Oh yeah, yeah,
which is how
yeah.
I
So
rewatched Rogue One.
it
So
it it listen, the break, I'm glad you feel better, but the break was welcome. Okay. Like
well, we're done, Mo. Like the
yeah,
weekly shows are done
yeah, for the most part. Then we're
until
gonna
March.
no until Black Adam is on
Yeah,
streaming.
but like the canons of us, like
Oh yeah, we
we did everything from Miss Marvel, no, from Moon Knight
Moon Knight all the way
all the way
down
to
here.
this,
Yeah.
which is like a few
Oof.
breaks.
Yes,
It's a lot
yes.
of casting.
It was a lot of content.
Yeah,
But yeah, when she came in, okay, so another character that annoys me is Mon's daughter, but obviously
she's supposed
it's
to.
the
They're both. She's definitely
it's the
supposed to.
reverse. It's the reverse. She's the anti-Val, I think. She's the I'm gonna perpetrate all of society. I'm gonna do what they want me to do. I'm gonna be annoying. I'm gonna be the annoying teenager. Um, and yeah, it's what are we missing from episode 11? Because I'm ready to get to the finale. I'm sorry,
Well,
like
I mean, the Mon Mothma stuff is really important in it, right? Like, I
it
think,
is. It
and
actually very is important because she's like, I'm in trouble. How much trouble are you in? She has to confess to Val, like, okay, this is. I get that you're in the trenches, but like for me, given the implications are different. I also have family. Like it's like I thought it was actually very powerful, and especially when her daughter came and Mon is still in her like emotional state. I thought it was pretty
it's pretty good.
amazing. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely sets up what happens in the finale, where it's just like,
Listen, I didn't
woo,
see that coming. I did
woo.
not. I did not. I did not. Like it was crazy. Um and then I think is it are we also in this episode where because when Val comes, she talks to the shopkeep first, right?
Yes, the whatever her name is. Yeah,
Yeah.
I truly don't know what her name is off the
Yeah,
top of my
I
head.
don't. Yeah, I'm sorry. Like
Number
I don't.
two.
Yeah, number two, right? Um, she talks to her first because she's looking for Luthen.
Luthen.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Is it this episode where Luthen goes to
He goes to
Saul?
Saul,
Right.
because
Okay.
and then he puts
I,
it on Saul, like, because right, because it's at the end of the previous episode is the speech, right?
yes.
Right, because the speech isn't in episode 11, right, where he gives the
Mm-mm,
like,
mm-mm.
all right, because that's the jailbreak episode, right? Also had the
Yes.
speech, right? And then so this was the aftermath of that, right? And where he like tells Saul Guerrero like, you got to choose now, like
Right. This is
between
dirty
selling,
work. Right.
yeah,
This
selling
is a
out
part of
Krieger.
the yeah. And if you do this, our informant or inside man is probably going to get caught and die, or get caught and expose everyone. I think that the implied thing is like if you do this, everything falls, right?
Hmm.
But if you sacrifice 30 men and Krieger, because he kept doing that, it's 30 men and Krieger.
I mean, Axis, that's fine, yeah.
Right. Wait, but who's Axis? Isn't
Axis
Axis
is the
Andor?
Imperial code name for because he's the axis of all of the other rebels.
Oh, okay.
That's the Imperial code name for him because he doesn't exist to them. Like
Okay.
they haven't figured
So
it
it's
out.
Axis, right? So he's like, you're gonna sacrifice 30 men and Krieger.
Yeah.
Are you sure you want to sacrifice 30 men and Krieger?
So does Saw Gerrera get messed up in Rebels, or has it not been revealed in the canon how he gets so badly messed up with the beginning of Rogue One?
Because he's in
Clone Wars,
so
right?
Saw Gerrera is in Clone Wars. In Clone Wars, he looks, I mean,
Yeah.
amazing. Yeah,
Yeah.
he voiced him in Clone Wars. In Clone Wars, he was good. I think in early Rebels, he was good
He
because
was
he's in
still in like a
Rebels.
whole
Yeah,
like a whole
early,
person.
yeah, early Rebels. He's in the beginning of it. He's whole, and I think maybe closer to the end, because Rebels and Andor and Rogue One kind of intersect.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean
Yeah,
that's like there's an episode where like Mon Mothma leaves Coruscant, right? That's in well, but like
right.
I mean, like I just watched Rogue One, and he is like in
He's like,
way
yeah,
worse shape.
he has the
Yeah,
breather and
uh,
all that stuff.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, Rebels, and because at the end of Rebels, right? At the end of Rogue One, don't the ship from Rebels is,
Is
listen,
there right?
I'm
Is
an advocate for Clone Wars. Yes, you got to watch Clone Wars, but he's not in all of Clone Wars. Have you seen Rebels? Drunk. If you really want to a lot of Saw, you find more of Saw in Rebels than in Clone Wars. But also watch Clone Wars. Anyways, uh,
because
because
technically
in
isn't like the ship from Rebels in the background of Rogue One?
yeah, it is. It is in the back of Rogue One, but it's not the same crew. Because I
Oh,
think, I think things happen to them in in Rebels. I think what's his name dies. Um,
Jedi boy.
yeah, Jedi boy gets sucked away, and then Ahsoka has to look for him. What? Nah, come on. You're really slacking. You're slacking.
Yeah, I've only ever seen
Roy's.
the Clone Wars.
I was gonna say
I've
Roy's
only
gonna
ever
be.
seen the Clone Wars movie, so and look, you're never gonna get me to watch all that. There's too much. It's too
It's a
much.
lot though, because
I watched
Clone Wars is like
4 episodes
six.
of uh the Tales of the Jedi.
Oh
So
yeah, I haven't seen that because
I have
Clone Wars is
feelings about those 4 episodes.
7 seasons. It's 6 seasons. Netflix had a season that wasn't finished, and then you got to go back to Disney Plus to watch the end of it, where he becomes actual way. He is actually Vader in that. The 66 is edited in Clone Wars. It looks totally different. Okay, Clone Wars really decided to oh oh nah, they're not mid. They're not mid. It's if you liked the prequels, okay, or if you thought the prequels were mid, Clone Wars helps make the prequels better, and that's why the prequels have a place in my
It's
heart.
George trying to solve a lot of problems of his own
Yes,
making.
yeah,
George and Dave
it is.
hanging out,
It
trying
is.
to solve
And
problems of
then
his
Dave
own
just takes
making.
over and becomes the goat. And then Rebels happens, and Rebels bridges a lot of the gaps as well. So yeah, check them out. Check them out when you have time. But yeah, so Saul, I think Saul gets hurt at the somewhere in between Rebels and
Rogue
Rogue
One.
One.
So then I
Yeah,
imagine he'll get hurt in the second. I imagine he'll get hurt in
I
the
think so.
second
I
season
think
of
so.
Andor.
Yeah.
Um,
Oof. So um I also thought the emotional and the conversation with Saul and Luthen in the cave was powerful. I mean, 11 had moments. It just, I can see what you're saying now. It just was a letdown because you go from prison break, or you go from pre-prison break to prison break, and then they kind of taper off a little bit.
tape off. There's that silly action sequence at the end, and then I'm like, okay, like
But
hopefully the
I
finale
think,
is really good, and then the finale
right,
is just like
yeah,
life
the
changing.
finale knocks it out the park.
Like holy
And I
shit.
think every Ferrex episode that has action in it has knocked it out the park. Let's just say that. Let's just go ahead and say that now. So are we doing finale now? Are we
Yeah, we can do
gonna?
the finale now. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
great,
Yeah.
great. Yes, I'm just gonna go ahead and say a single tear dropped. I'm not gonna lie to you. I think so. I was thinking to myself, like, damn, I didn't shed a tear for Wakanda, but like, look at me, this white lady had me tearing up. Like, oh,
I
I'm like,
mean,
I
I
need
will
to shed a
say,
tear for the culture. Like, what are you talking?
like, well, I will say that they did trade on, like, I think part of the power of the episode is it trades on a lot of contemporary, like, protest. You know what I mean?
Right, right, right.
And like the
Very much.
scenes, like
The
it
it
is
was the
trading on that
build
stuff.
up. It was crazy. Okay, it was crazy. Um,
The music,
let's before we get there. Yeah, the music. Seriously,
yeah.
seriously, I'm not even gonna argue with you because everyone is dressed in like semi-military attire. I'm like, look at Brasso in the front. Like, what?
And
You
well,
kidding?
and when he hits that guy with with her brick, it's just like, oh shit.
She don't go on the wall. No, like,
No, that's what she wanted, Mo. That's what she
I
wanted.
know she didn't care about all of that anymore.
Oh,
She's like,
it
we've
was a
been too.
moving episode,
It
like life
really
changing.
was. It was. And I had this. About you were right about because I think you said you called something. One of either our police boy was gonna be there.
Of
He was gonna
course,
do
yeah.
something. Yeah, you were right about
I
that. But
think
I
didn't
was
I say
right.
he was gonna rescue her? I think I might have said
Yes, you
that.
did. But
Yeah,
I was right that the Irish cop.
he did come back. I didn't think he'd come back. They did come back. Didn't do
uh,
anything, but he did come
he did,
back.
but he was there. Uh, you know
Yeah,
what?
no, I
I'll give it
agree.
to you. I'll give it to you.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean Marvin
I
doesn't do
can't.
a lot in the.
Yeah. Um, but I think okay. So the thing it was set up. It was set up to be a powder keg, right? Because you have
Yeah.
Dedra. Dedra wasn't like this is how important Ferris was to Dedra, right? She didn't care about Krieger. Like she was like, "Fuck Krieger right now. I'm just gonna
Well,
make sure she
she was
she
like
cared
they
to an
should have
extent,
captured somebody. Yeah, yeah,
right?
yeah.
But she didn't care to be there. She was like, "No, I got to be at Ferris. I got to collect Andor alive."
Yeah.
And I thought I would say this. I thought it was very dumb of her in with the chaos, like because it wasn't chaotic yet, right? But I thought it was very dumb of her to, to be out there to go collect Andor. I'm like, you're like a general, bro. Like, chill out.
Well,
Like,
I think the point of it is like I think a lot of it's very similar. I think to like Cyril, which is
mhm.
why them in the bid. Like I don't think she understood the brutality, but also like
Yes,
she didn't quite
yes,
realize like what it was going to be, right?
yeah,
Like
yeah. With Cyril, his first I think his first action like ever in life was the skirmish, and this is her too. Because by the time Cyril saves her, she's like trembling. I'm like,
yeah.
what are you gonna do with this thing? Like if somebody was, but I also thought Cyril was a dickhead. Like, don't move. Like, why would you put it like if I'm trying to rescue you? Why is that what I
Well,
would
Cyril's a
do?
piece of shit, and
He
they're both
is.
pieces of shit.
He
I'm
is.
still on Deidre is
I
Andor's
hope
long
not.
lost sister.
I hope not. Oh, Andrew. No, because yes, I will agree with you on that, but I really hope they go there because that look, I'm like, don't do it,
They're
don't do it.
boning, man. They're gonna be boning in the
They
new
are not.
new.
It's
Oh,
gross.
they're gonna be super boning in the new season.
Yeah, I hope they don't.
Well,
I hope
in
they
full
don't.
year whenever it's done.
Oh, gross. Um, but yeah, so it's built up to be a powder keg. Luthen decides not to go back to Coruscant.
Of course not, yeah.
Yeah, he's like, I'm gonna go to Ferrex to handle Andor myself. Cinta's already in Ferrex. Val, who didn't need to be there, comes to Ferrex. So you have Val Ferrex,
You have a
uh,
girlfriend whose name's escaping me right now.
Cinta.
Cinta, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, man, how do you forget that? She always asks.
Cinta, when she murders that
Oh, I loved it. Listen, because it's crazy because it's again it's Disney Plus, so it's
well,
crazy.
Disney
It's
Plus
crazy.
wouldn't let them make out. Like they like
Wouldn't
if
they'd let
that
them
scene
touch
was a
hands.
heterosexual relationship, they
Oh
definitely would have
yeah,
been making out.
100%. Yes, yes, yes. Um, no, when she murdered that whatever his name was, I loved it.
Yeah.
I thought it was cold. Cinta is about this. Val is gonna get Cinta killed. I'm calling it now.
That could happen.
I
Because
think
neither of them are in Rogue One, right? I don't think I saw
no, no.
Cinta and
I think
that
what's
guy.
gonna happen is Cinta is gonna get soft for Val at some point
Mm-mm.
and try to rescue her, and boom, she dies for her white lover.
I think it's going to be the other way around, where I
What?
think Cinta is going to be doing her like rebel thing and being badass like rebel spy, and Val is
Right.
going to try to rescue her, and that's going to get them both killed.
Okay, so they're both dying because of Val, and it's not
Yeah, I
one or
think
the other.
Val. Yeah, I think they're gonna. I think they die together, but I think that if they die because
Holding
Val.
hands.
No, not holding hands. I think
Uh,
I think Val gets them both killed, which she almost
uh,
does do when
right.
they're in the jailbreak,
Doing this.
not the
Right.
jailbreak, the heist.
Um. Aldani.
Yeah, Aldani,
Yes.
because like Cinta is like all about that rebel spy life. Yeah, yeah. I mean, that's kind of basically what it is. Like she's all about that rebel
She's
spy
so
life.
in love. Val is so messed up and in love, and since it's like, well, you know what this is about for me, right? You're just okay. It's cold tonight.
It's like I gotta go rebel. All
Right,
right.
but it's
But I
cold
mean
tonight.
her knifing that guy was just like, yeah, all right.
Delicious.
Like
Because he thought he had the jump on her. I thought it was funny. He's like, "What are you doing here?" Just knife. Twist. It was a knife and a twist. I thought it was beautiful.
I thought it
And
was
he's
beautiful because it's a very much like not what you expect for those kind of scenes, you know what I mean? Where it's
yeah,
like,
because
oh, the
he's
bad guy
it's
has found out the woman is a spy,
right.
right?
He beats her up at first, and she manages to smack him over the head and take off. But nah, it was knife and it was
She's like, oh
clean. It
good,
was
this is what I wanted. Boop. Yeah.
right the entire time. She's like, "You thought you thought."
You were so
uh,
clever.
right. Um, but I also thought the beginning of the episode, like the way it starts, where the guy's son is building his homemade device
Oh, man.
was
I cannot
was
believe they used that imagery. Like I really was
listen.
blown away that they
Disney
did that.
Plus. I would tell you this right now. If it was Bob Iger, that's not getting through. I think this new this new guy doesn't care about what's going on and just cares about his numbers, because I honestly don't think like they knew what they were watching.
They
So
didn't realize they were
anti-cop.
getting the single most left wing piece of Disney created content of all time.
Right.
Like the fucking
Right.
yeah,
Right. Right.
yeah.
Because isn't Cinta's beef with the Empire that they killed her whole family?
And the
Right.
stormtroopers did. Yep.
Yeah, and Val just um I hate my
Well, like
family.
I do hope we get a little. I mean, maybe
A
somewhere in the
little bit.
canon.
Right.
Like I hope we get a little bit of like because like Mon Mothma, Luthen, and Vel are all like one cell, right? Because
Correct.
they all know each other, right?
Hmm.
And they swore a blood, like he says, he swore like an oath. I think also the guy who's in ISD,
Who's the ISB
who's
guy?
the ISB guy, also is like part of their like clique, like
Cell?
knows, yeah, their cell. So like I'd be
Hmm.
interested if they do a flashback that's like what caused them to all like I'm sure there's a
Yeah.
Mon Mothma reason, right? Like that's been given somewhere, right? But like
Yeah.
what caused her
Yeah.
cousin specifically, what caused Luthen, and why all of them together like started their cell together.
Yo,
I
yeah,
think
like
that'd
how
be a
did they
cool thing
find
of
each
season two.
other? Yeah. It'd be nice to see how they found each other. Because I do want to know what Val's like. I really want to, because it can't just be I hate my family, I hate my tradition. They don't want me to sleep with women and down with the Empire. It can't just be that, right?
I mean,
Because
I think that there's something to that though, right? Like what
I mean,
like
yeah, but are you taking down the system because of that?
I mean some people, yeah, that's the like
True.
there's a lot of like people who ran off to fight in the like Russian Revolution or the French Revolution because like they were upset at this, like, these specific settings that they were born into that might have been privileged, but they were angry at some aspects of their privilege, right?
What do you think?
Luthen is Vel's father? No, because I think
He's
because
not
he's not like related to Mon Mothma, right?
right. He would have to
And
be because that's her cousin.
yeah, it's her cousin. So to the point where her husband knows Vel. So it's not like a fake cousin thing, right?
Right.
Um
Right.
so like I think her just Trillian culture is like homophobic. So like what's better than, and has accommodated the Empire. So it's like fuck the Empire, fuck patriarchy. That's
No, but I really do like. So I like. And now let's talk about the funeral. Oh, we're gonna give them 30 people in the street, and that's it. And Ferrex is like, "Fuck you, fuck your people. I'm going to bang the anvil now." And I thought, again, everything about that scene was just powerful, right? When the
yeah.
anvil goes, and even everyone is like, "What the hell is happening? Like, stop it! Go! Like this is not. It's now. It's not supposed. It's not supposed to happen for a couple of hours." And Brasso's all dressed up again. I didn't think Brasso was involved in any of it. I just thought he was the guy who's minding his business and chilling. And it looks like he was probably the one that was behind all of it. Ren, I think his name was Renwen or
Him and the guy
Wen.
who gets killed were like the two.
Yeah.
Who was like kind of the bald headed guy.
Yeah,
Seemed to be the two people who were like.
And I was sick when he's like drinking and just talking, like opening his mouth because he's getting some liquor. Like, come on.
I mean, it's realistic. Wow. Damn.
I mean, T'Challa's were shot in the pandemic, okay? Like, so there weren't people around. And the Avengers didn't come to T'Challa's wedding, which would have spiced it up a little
Oh, you
bit.
mean his funeral?
His funeral. Like, that's crazy. But no, it was this entire build up, and it is realistic. It is realistic, but I think maybe because we're watching, and as soon as that guy is like, "Oh wait, you talk to Andor," and I'm like, "Oh crap, he's like the guy selling out information, right?"
Mm-hmm. Well, he was the greedy guy, right, from the first couple episodes.
But Andor owed him money. It wasn't just.
But Andor did pay him back.
He did.
Yeah, remember?
When he came back.
He gives Brasso money. He's like, pay that guy back, pay that guy back.
Right. So he does get paid, but he's greedy at this point now, right? He's selling out Ferrex for a couple dollars here and there, like, ew, like, oh, you guys are gonna get me out, right? So you thought,
yeah,
right, idiot. So he's selling out his people, and as soon as I see him, fuck. And then he's drinking with him. I'm like, this is the worst. It didn't even matter though, because Andor was a step ahead of everybody.
Yeah.
He did. He paid you back.
He paid you back, but that guy had no solidarity. Everybody else in Ferrex did,
which is crazy. These are your people being subjugated, and you're still selling them out. I hate it. I hate that imagery. I really, really hate that imagery because it's I will talk about it later, but I hate that imagery. So yeah, he sells everyone out. He sells, I forget his name, Rex Wen or Wen Rex. He sells them out. The bald guy,
guy,
Andor and Brasso in the tunnels, like, just, hey man, like, I love you, bro. Good looks on putting my mom's brick on the wall. Like, appreciate it. Like, that was pretty cool. That was a touching moment.
It was cool. It was a good scene. Like, the thing about this episode is every scene was good. I think
every scene was good and necessary. Because wasn't it in this episode where Deidre is let's talk about the Mon Mothma scene before we get back to the funeral real quick. I was like, yes. First of all,
she sells her husband out.
I hate her husband, right?
Yeah, her husband sucks.
He sucks. And she's like, "Don't doing this again? You're gambling? At least." And I'm like, why is this? And then we find out that the driver, I'm like, that's
so that's why all the money's missing, Mo.
Right. because the husband is gambling, and she found out. Oh, I love it. Like, but he's such a he's an Empire sympathizer. You think he's gonna get like what's gonna be the repercussion for that, right?
Well, I think it gives her a cover, right? Like it gives her
It
cover for
does.
one, why the money is missing.
Mhm.
Two, why that criminal guy is
Is
suddenly floating around.
right.
And so it's like a double cover, right? So it's like
Mhm.
the Empire starts digging into Mon Mothma's financial records. It's like, oh, $3 million is missing. Oh, it's because her degenerate gambling. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, sick. Yeah, so her degenerate gambling ass husband is the reason why, and their daughter is a pawn. She's in the middle of this, not knowing why. She's like, she found the elder who's going to perform the ritual. I'm like, ugh, traditional marriage, just gross.
As
Um,
13-year-olds, yeah, super gross.
yeah, like, bruh, but he's 14, so look,
Oh, sure.
look,
I mean,
I'm not excusing it. Huh?
I want to find out what happens to them, like in the next, like, because there's no Mon Mothma family floating around, so
Right. But
because they still need the money, right?
you still
He's
need
not
it, yeah.
only
So that money's gonna have to come back into the account somehow. So now it covers her for why it's missing. It covers her for why it's back. It covers her for why this guy is and why her daughter is probably being betrothed to a known under
criminal or like
yeah
Donald Trump type.
right and yeah, so that scene in the car was powerful. So now he goes back to his boss to tell his boss like this was happening, and then it's like, hey, you're missing the 30 rebels
They get
and
just
Krieger,
massacred.
right?
Gets
Like just getting,
massacred.
and Deidre's like they need to be alive, blah 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 blah. Listen, in all of this I just feel bad for Biggs, like just so because how like
Bix,
I want to
they're
know. I want to know. I kind of want to know how bad it is. Like I know. Never mind, because it probably has to be like.
well, one of the things I like about how they treated Bix is like there's no like dignity, right, in what
Mm-hmm,
happened to her, right? It's not this like heroic thing that she overcame or something like
no,
that. No,
she's
it's just like the
still.
Empire just fucked her up,
Yeah, she's still
like
fucked.
for no reason, like because they didn't really get any good information out of her.
No,
Like they
for,
just fucked her up,
she
and
hadn't talked to Andor. So whatever answer she gave them, she hadn't talked to Andor. She doesn't know where he is. No one knew where Andor was because he was in prison. So,
it's like the Empire had him, but
right.
like
If y'all had cameras somewhere, you would have. He would, well, he also didn't give you.
yeah, she did. Like, and there's like, it's just there's no dignity in it, right? Like, I
None.
think like a lot of, I mean, like think about like Princess Leia getting tortured, right?
Right.
In Star Wars: New Hope, right? Leia doesn't crack, right?
Ugh.
Or Han Solo, right?
Right.
In Empire Strikes Back, right? Like, it didn't ask any questions, right? Like that kind
Right.
of
Right. Because
like
that's
stuff,
usually what our heroes do, right? Our heroes never
right?
crack. I am very, but what I am interested to know is how the long term effects, how this gonna affect Bix moving forward. Is she slowly gonna regain her mind, or is she gonna be an egg short egg short
Do
of
you
an
think that
almond?
any of those characters are going to play a large role in season 2, or do you just think they're going
Um,
to come back for a little bit? I
they
think
have
the
the
latter.
droid,
Yeah.
so he has to get the droid. He has to, right? So he's gonna go. Like that's the only. I feel like that's one of the only reasons why that happened. They escaped with the droid is because we want these guys back, right? I think Brasso is gonna play a role. At this point, he's big. He can fight. He's the big bruiser. Like I, he was such a gentle giant until the funeral scene, right?
And then he was just fucking up stormtroopers.
Right. Oh man, just knocking like he headbutted one
Mm-hmm.
with his head.
Yeah. He just was fucking them up. Like, it was great.
Oh,
Like,
because listen, so and what also, so they get to funeral, and of course, this is how the Empire reacts, right? I'm not touching it. This is how. Oh, this is how the Empire reacts. Of course, they enforce.
mm-hmm.
Police shields, Listen,
Oh yeah, the riot shields. It was
we've seen this
a
in
little
real
too
life.
real.
It was too real, which is what I'm saying. Like, there's no way Disney investors knew what. Like, they didn't tell them. They had to have filmed something else and showed it to the investors. Oh, this is, by the way, this is, it's a fun star. That's, you know
Right,
what
they showed the scene from the previous one
I
with
was
the
gonna
like.
say. That's why they filmed that scene. That's what they showed the investors. It's like, oh look, it's a cool Star Wars space show, and then turn around.
Then a cab, like
Riot shields, fire at will. Like, come on,
just opening fire on these people, just massacring them.
killing people in the street, like, just because that happened in the first episode. Stay back, don't come any closer. Like, come on. Because if they saw that, there's no way you're telling me, if Disney investors saw that, we're still gonna get this show. There's no way in hell.
Well, they also just like shoot people who aren't even involved in the riot. Like,
No,
it is very realistic.
old
Like,
people are getting capped for no reason. It's like, these are the daughters of Ferrex. Why are you shooting them? They're really just standing back. No, but I thought the march was cool, and then when Neva comes through and is giving her speech, I'm like, yo, because I think what makes Marva's speech even like I think what elevates the speech is she's still sick. You know what? Nice comeback.
yeah,
Nice comeback.
yeah.
She's still very sick, and you can hear she's weak, hard time catching her breath, like just
Mm-hmm.
speaking, but she's like giving it her all, like it's coming from the heart. And I'm sitting there like, yo, am I about to listen? I got a BLM shirt. Like, what's good? Like, what's really, like, who, like, what's up? Like, let's go out and march. I was ready. I was
Yeah, it
very
was
ready.
very good. They
I'm
captured
sitting
that
there with
moment.
listen. I'm sitting there with Paula. Like, listen. If this episode came out in 2020, I don't know, man. I don't know. Like, in that tumultuous time, if this was that,
You could
listen.
tell they wrote it in 2020.
I feel like they did. They were like, how can we take what's happening in real life? Oh, let's just do it this way. Um, are we gonna do it?
Do you want to do it today? Is that what, I know Kyle
I
would
haven't
really
seen. I
like
haven't
doing
seen
that.
it. I know Kyle wants to do it. So yeah, we are gonna
We'll
do
do
it.
it. I saw it. I saw it. It's the thing I
It's a
watched.
thing. Okay, I haven't seen it, so I just have to see it. So yes, drunk, we will do it. Um, is there when?
I don't care. I'm not going
Friday.
anywhere.
Friday.
Friday might not be good, but Saturday or Thursday or Sunday.
Thursday, Wednesday.
Yeah, I could do Wednesday.
Okay, yeah, okay. So Wednesday, drunk Wednesday. Yeah, we're gonna do this. We'll have to see it between now and Wednesday. I'll probably see Wednesday morning.
It's really short, man. It's like really short.
Oh, okay, then perfect. I'll see
It's
when
shorter than
I'll
Werewolf by
literally.
Night.
Oh, okay. Again, we are at the second Marvel special, and DC is yet. You know what? Never mind. Yeah, wrong.
Wrong venue.
I'll save that rant for that show. So yes, the build up. Again, I couldn't wait to talk about this episode because the build up just me like ready to go. Right, so all of this is happening, and then the snitch gets caught. He's like, "Yeah, that tower over there. If you go over there, that's where Andor is." And then the anvil is going. They're marching. The song is hitting. Like, Marva is speaking. Andor is probably was he watching her speech? He probably was
He
before he like.
was, I think so.
So at the beginning of it, then he
The
left.
beginning, I think he was.
Yeah, he was watching. And I love when they do this in movies on film, like when they're about to step to, like, oh, we're gonna surround the guy. We know where he is, and then we go up there, and I love when they do it because
He's just gone.
I know he's not there, but I still love it. Like they show you like, oh, he's still there, but he's not. He's not there. What I did think, however, was when she came down, she looked at the sewer, right? She looked at the grate, and I thought she was gonna ask, like, where does this lead? That's what I was expecting. I thought they were. I really thought in this episode, Andor and her will have a something.
I don't think they
Yeah.
ever interact unless she
Okay.
dies. Like unless like I think because like how can they, right? Because Andor is like a top secret rebel agent
Hmm.
in Rogue One, right?
Hmm.
So unless she breaks for the rebellion or dies, I don't think they interact.
Okay. Okay.
I do
All
think
right.
I think Cyril dies
Oh yeah, Cyril has to die because
and Andor's gonna kill him.
I can't wait. Make no. I hope Bix does. I
But
hope.
is that gonna be as emotional though? Like if Bix
I mean,
kills her, that would
okay.
be
Oh, that would be perfect. That would be
if
perfect.
she's okay, if she's Andor's sister and Bix kills her,
Oh,
that would there you go.
don't do that. You know what? I hope she's not Andor's sister, please. Uh,
Somebody's Andor's sister. That's all I'm saying, man.
right.
Like,
Uh, tough. Um, because okay, so a couple things happen, right? Right before shit hits the fan, um, Luthen spots Deidre, but he also sees Cyril, and
he
he
doesn't know
sees
who Cyril is. He doesn't
okay,
care. Cyril.
he sees Deidre, and he ducks. Obviously, he probably know her, but he knows of her because her inside man, right?
Yep.
His inside man rather. So, so I again, there's a lot of things that I hope season 2 answers, but shit hits the fan so quick because that stupid, overzealous, the guy who didn't want to give them anything. He's like, yeah, I don't want to give them the street. They want to close off Rick's Road. I'm not gonna give it to them. And DJ's like, do give it to them. And they want. I don't want to give them anyone on the street. Give them 30. He was so mean.
Yeah, he was really bad. He kicked the dog. He kicked the dog.
He did. He did. Uh,
He kicked the dog. Does he die? No, he doesn't.
I
Right?
don't. I know he doesn't. He doesn't. He runs. He runs away.
He runs away, right? And then he
And
orders
he's
them all to
like,
open fire.
open fire. Right. He's like, but did he die though? Isn't that when the kid threw the
Does he
did
get
the
blown
kid
up? He might get blown up by
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Did the
the
kid throw the bomb before
improvised
open
explosive device, the IED.
IED, right? Wow. In a Disney Plus show.
In a Disney
On
Plus
the
show for Star Wars. Thrown by the
listen,
good guys. Let's not forget. Let's not forget this.
you know
Like,
what? Because now a lot of people are gonna see it and be like Antifa. But Antifa's the one who's starting the riots and killing people and killing cops, and that's so somehow this show happened to have Antifa. They had they have
the
neo-Nazis,
IRA, they have, they've got
everything. They got everything in this show. So shit hits the fan. Everybody's fighting Brasso, and I'm like, yo, they're gonna get this kid. Like he's really only doing this because you hung his father. And like first of all, you turned his father into a vegetable and then hung him. Like that's pretty fucking shitty.
mm-hmm.
That like, I wouldn't. Everybody deserved to die. I would literally.
The
again,
kid survives though, right? Does
yes,
he
he
make it?
does because Brasso and the old guy.
Oh, he's in the ship, right?
Yeah, he's on the ship. Brasso and the old guy save him. Rex dies. All right. The black guy died. The snitch dies.
Yeah, he gets blown up.
Yes. Nah. So Deidre is in the mix. She's in the mix. Like her gun is her little blaster is getting kicked.
They're about to murder her.
Really
like,
yo. Oh man. And the craziest part about this is right as she's going to find Andor, you see Cyril on the one side and he's like gonna get to her. Okay. We're gonna get there in a second. He's trying to get to her. He gets stopped. Anyways, he does save her. Things happen. Andor rescues Bix. He gets her to the ship. She's safe. I most especially loved the very end of it, where
Did you like Luthen like horrific pleasure as like all the people are getting massacred and
Oh, Luthen. Oh, I loved it.
he's upset, but he's also like, yes, this is
Because
like
he's
what I
upset
wanted.
because I think he's upset because he doesn't get to kill Andor, but
No, I think he's upset because people are dying, but I think he's also like, yes, like
like people are standing up, right?
yeah, he's
Like
like, yeah, well, this is what he wanted. It's not even that people are standing up; he wants the massacres, right? He specifically
yes,
says that repeatedly.
yes, he does
Like,
because it gets when people get to hear it, people start to get upset. Like, yo, you're literally killing people for what? Like,
you just
yeah, uh,
shot up a funeral, like,
yes, because that's the narrative. That is, no matter how they try to spin it, that's going to be the narrative. It was a peaceful funeral until one of your guys kicked the dog through. Like, what? How dare you? Like, and you know what's so funny? We're so sympathetic to the droid, right? We're so sympathetic to the
I
droid,
mean, he's a talking dog, like,
right? Because even at the end where he's like, he's talking to Andor, and he's like, "Oh my God, you're back!" And then he's like, "Yeah, you're leaving again." He's like, "Are you back?" And then he's like, "You always say that." Like, I'm sorry. That's
it's hard, it's
leave.
painful, it's
Yeah,
painful.
that was. And then Bix is like, he always comes back.
Yeah.
Cassian, he always. Oh, she's so scrambled. I feel bad for her because it was just punishment. And I think the worst thing happens in the episode where the guy's like, if you don't tell me what I want to know, I'm going to get Doctor whatever his fucking
Gorman
name
or
is.
whatever is back. Yeah.
What the fuck is, like, how sick do you have to be to see someone in no shape to do anything and try to threaten them with that? That's disgusting.
I mean, that's because that's
Yeah,
what these kind of people are. I mean, but these people exist like today.
everywhere. Yeah, they do. They
There are
do.
people today in our power structure in
Mm,
this country that are like that. Like,
yeah, yeah.
and this is just a mirror that is like hopefully letting people rethink some issues around some of these stuff, right? Like, if you were a person who was inspired by this episode, you should maybe think which side you should be cheering for the next time there's a confrontation in real life between
There was a
uh
conversation in our chat that lets me think that's gonna happen. I know you know which one I'm talking about.
yeah.
I know. Oh no, I wouldn't. He would be scrambled just like her. He would.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the point, right?
I
Like,
think, yeah. The point of the show is that the heroes crack. Like, they don't not crack, right? Because yes, he escaped from prison, but even then. So
a
now
lot of
this is
people
the
get killed in the prison escape,
right,
possibly even Andy Serkis.
right. So this is the end of the episode where Andor goes, "Kill me or take me in," and okay, this is another part where I'm going to concede to you that you were right. You said by the end. So I'm thinking that line is, and what Luthen's response to that was that 6 mile he has, right?
Well, it's also
Um,
relief, right? Like,
right. Because I don't have you because you are like legit, right? Pretty sure here, like where he's been, he's gonna be like, oh shit, I I really don't have to kill you. You are legit. You've been the other side of things. You've seen, you know. Um, so here's my thing, right? So you were right about. So this is what my thought on that was like. He joins that's it. That's because he read the manifesto at some point, right?
well, I
So
love
this.
the scene where he's sitting the night before and he's like reading the manifesto and like,
Mhm.
and you're just like,
I'm
whoa! It's
like,
like, I was like, oh god, it's all coming together.
right,
Yeah,
because you said it. You was like, he
yeah,
joins, because something that you repeated over and over again was he's going to join the rebellion at the end of the season. And I'm like, like, and this is why I think the show is great, because they made sure to, like, it was an okie doke. Like, he's been selfish from day one, and especially after Aldani, where it's like, will he not? He chooses himself after the prison break. I don't know what he chose. They specifically don't show a lot of Andor after the prison break, just so they don't have a lot of conversations and tip their hand. Because I think it would have been, if there were a lot of conversations going on, they would have tipped their hand until the very end, where it's like, people have to know.
yeah.
And even then, he's
It's not
going
even
back.
100% clear.
It's not right. He's going back to
Yeah.
Ferrex. Okay.
Yeah,
I
that's
thought it
fair.
was nice because it was just the set of it, right? The rain, the background of
Hmm.
all the things happening, right? And but yeah, so even at the end of that episode, they didn't tip their hand. It's just he's going back to Ferrex to bury his mom. Period. He's not going to join a rebellion. That's not what he's doing. But the very end of the episode, I think he joins the rebellion.
Oh yeah,
So
he
you're right.
definitely does.
You're right.
Yeah.
So
Then like Luthen's like he's like relieved,
right,
right? Like
because he's
because
a
he took
competent. Go
this
ahead.
gamble in the third episode,
And because
and
Cassian is a competent, he's going to be he's going to prove himself to be a competent operative. You need someone who can operate in the shadows pretty much and who can get dirty. And I'm pretty again when he lets him know his what he experienced, like he's probably going, okay, you are definitely legit. So yeah, I gotta concede to that. You were right. He's definitely a rebel now.
he's a true
Um,
believer. I mean, that's the thing about
right,
Cassian, at least from Rogue One, right? Is he's supposed to be a true believer who gets lost in the woods trying to serve his cause before getting reoriented by
right,
Felicity Jones.
right. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Because yeah, at that point again. But yeah, so I did really, really like the very end of the show. Like again, perfect way to end it, in my opinion. Perfect,
Hmm.
perfect way to. Uh,
Probably
so
the strongest episode.
oh yes,
I
yes.
think I still have a soft spot for that third one.
What?
Uh, just because it
It's
kind of
so
came out
oh,
of like you know what I mean, like because it was just sort of like the first two episodes are kind of like
it came out of nowhere. You're right.
and then like the third season is just like nope, all of that meandering pay off. And it's like oh shit.
Right, right.
Like I was like, wait, is this show actually really a cab? And it's like, oh
Oh,
yeah, Biggs's
yes,
boyfriend gets gunned down. Like they're
it
just
is.
shooting people randomly in the street, and it's just like, oh man,
So, two questions, and I think you've kind of answered one. I was gonna say, what's the strongest episode? And I think you kind of are
I
leaning.
I think this is probably objectively this is probably the best episode, the finale. Yeah,
It did. It
it
did
had
because
a
I hadn't seen Andor on my feed for that many episodes, and all of a sudden, oh my god, it was on Instagram, it was on Twitter, it was on Facebook. I'm like, wait, people watch this show? Like,
yeah. I mean, yeah, it broke through, and it's been gaining right
yes, yes, it has,
over time,
and
which
I
is
think
what
it's
Disney
also
wants.
the way it started off. The first two episodes, it maybe would have lost people. You know
It's
what?
definitely
That's me.
that's fair. That's
That's
fair.
me. That's me.
But
Because
he did have somebody
it was
hit a stormtrooper with a brick.
it,
Like that's
it clocked the shit. Yo, bro. No, I think the reason I think the prison break episode was two things. Any circus. It was one thing. Any
yeah,
circus.
any circus, yeah.
His speech, and then what one thing about this show is the goddamn speeches by the heroes are just amazing, right? Um, yeah, no, I think Andy Serkis's speech and then Andy Serkis's acting at the very end, where it's like I can't swim, but I'm still very elated. Prison isn't what's gonna kill me. You know,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, but
He has his equal of he has more of a chance jumping in the lake and
mhm,
trying to survive
mhm. Then actually
than
being
being in prison.
continuing to run shift 5 2D or whatever, level 5D or whatever
Yeah,
level
because
they
they're
were.
the day shift, whatever that
Yeah,
meant.
right. But yeah, I will say the strongest points on the show happen in the finale, but I think the strongest episode is Prison Break. But I think again, apples oranges. It's like the same. They're both great episodes.
Yeah.
Like the third episode 3, Prison Break, and this are like almost on the same level. Take one thing out, but they're all like those are the episodes of TV I think we've had in all of the shows we've done.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's the strongest Disney. Well, I think it's a better. I mean, if we're being really honest, I think it's a better finale. It's the best Disney Plus finale since Mandalorian season 1.
Correct.
Because Mandalorian season 2 had a great finale, but it was a gimmick.
Okay. I was about to say, like, it was
a gimmick,
Luke.
though.
Like, come on.
It was a gimmick, though. It was a gimmick. It was a gimmick. It was a gimmick.
Are you serious?
I'm serious. It was a gimmick.
This is a fucking funny one. Oh man. But okay, Andor, are we gonna I think, is it fair to rate this episode, or are we just gonna rate the entire series?
I mean, we can do both if you want.
Okay, so episode 12, Daughters
A
of
plus for me.
Oh yeah, 100%. Again, like I said, we've had, I think this is the only show we've had we've given a lot of A's and A pluses out in all of the shows we've done. We didn't do Mandalorian season 1. If not, I think that would have been another A plus.
Not every episode of Mandalorian season 1. I have controversial Mandalorian opinions. That's somebody who likes them.
Really?
Likes the show.
Again, I mean, you just gave season 2. You know, you're right, because you just gave a season 2's finale. You called it a gimmick.
It is a gimmick.
What would you have rated that? I'm curious. What would you have rated that episode?
Probably like a B plus.
It was a solid A. What?
I think it was a B plus. I think there's a lot wrong with that episode.
Dark Saber, the dark. What were the dark droids?
The dark troopers that are like
dark
firmly
troopers.
mid.
Like, come on, that episode was a banger. Okay, and I'm not crazy about Mandalorian, but that episode was a banger. And when everyone, because you should have been in the chat. You weren't in the chat then.
I wasn't in the chat then. I think I joined the chat shortly before. After that
episode broke the chat because of certain individuals were like, "Oh, I think you would have been, that was, if you would call it a gimmick in the chat, they would have been like, yes, Roy is the greatest." But honestly, I was one of them. It's a banger. It's a banger.
I mean, like, I understand it's a banger. Like, I was sucked away by it. Like, I'm a Luke Skywalker fanboy.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I get it. That's like what I wanted from Luke for like a long time.
Right.
But that doesn't make it any less a gimmick. All right. Like, Luke has no natural attachment to that story. Like, so Mark Hamill, well, at least they actually had Mark Hamill rather than an actor do it. But like the awkward de-aging CG, it's just weird. It was just, I don't know. I got sucked away. I was like, yeah. But then I was like, oh, wait a minute. That was a gimmick.
Anyways, Andor season 1. What is your rating for it?
A minus.
I give it a B plus. Again, I feel like that's the same thing. I give it a B plus. Because again, you know, certain episodes were drop-offs, and I think maybe the earlier. Okay, now this is another question I have for you. Season 2, do you think we're gonna get this arc thing, or do you think it's gonna? Okay,
I think it's like, it's too structured the way they did it until like kind of the very end, without them doing it again. They also have like specific stories they have to tell.
Right.
Like, I think they're in way more trouble in season 2 than season 1.
Oh, you mean like in general, like trouble in general?
They have specific things they have to do.
Okay.
Like that, it like puts additional additional, like, so they have to introduce him to the robot.
Correct.
They have to set up Yavin. They have to deal with the fact that Luthien is not in Rogue One, so that means he's dead or something happened to him. Right? They need to show the formation of the Rebel Alliance, because they're not the Rebel Alliance yet.
Correct. Mon Mothma.
Like, there's apparently again a Rebels episode that deals with Mon Mothma leaving Coruscant, so maybe they won't deal with that. Maybe they'll like skip that and just kind of like time jump. Like, they might do it to like put Mon Mothma right before a scene in Rebels. Do you know what I mean? And then time jump to her being on Yavin 4. They have to set up Yavin 4.
Correct.
Right. Like, there's like a lot of Rogue One is much more in their picture than this season. They have much, like, this season they had freedom to basically do whatever they want.
They have to set up a lot of things to get to Rogue One, because they've said it's only 2 seasons.
Yeah.
right. And so because they've said it's only 2 seasons, they kind of like ham-fisted it. They kind of like, yeah. So I get the trouble they're in, but
I think
I
it'll be good, but I just say there's
I
like way
so
more.
so it's 12 episodes. What do you think this episodes to be Andor doing like specific rogue missions, and then in the background of all of that is when they're telling all these stories.
I think there'll be some of him doing missions, but like I think it's gonna. I mean, it has to be the Rebel Alliance coming together and
I mean,
figuring out that the Empire, except for Saw, because Saw's not actually in the Rebel Alliance. Well, the impression you get is that he's in the Rebel Alliance and then he leaves.
Yes,
Right.
yes. To
That's
do his
kind of
own,
the
to
impression
be
you get of
his
Rogue
own
One.
person. Yes,
The partisans, or whatever they call them.
Yeah.
And
I don't know.
I
Was
think
it Rebels or it could have been Rebels. Yeah, it was Rebels where we just see him as his own person. Yeah, it is.
so.
Rebels.
I think the two things is the Rebel Alliance coming together, and then them figuring out that the Death Star is a thing.
Right. Right.
Did you like the very, very end, by the way, where they revealed what Cassian was building?
Wait.
Did you not watch the post-credit sequence, my friend?
I guess I didn't. Thanks for not. No.
You should definitely there's a post-credit sequence, yeah. To the finale.
I didn't know that.
Disney even let you. They let you skip credits and it goes straight to it.
I'm about to watch it live right now.
What? It's a big one.
Post credit? You kidding me? Like you know what's crazy
long.
is no, I know, but I'm just saying like it's crazy because I've been watching this like all Disney shows and it's never.
Well, Marvel's been doing like less of them than you would think.
It's still credits. Like it's still
keep going,
credits.
man. Keep going. Fiona Shaw, yep.
It's 6 whole minutes of credits. I wasn't watching all of that. Look, didn't know, okay? I'm not the only one.
Well, we're gonna sit here on this call. This is great television for Mo to get to it.
Okay, so I just forwarded it for 3.5 minutes.
Okay.
Come on. Oh no, don't do this to me. This is crazy. You know what? She-Hulk.
Nope. Sounds like it's starting. Here we go.
Is that the Death Star? Is that the Death Star? Yo, it is the Death Star. Are you serious?
Yeah, that's what they were. That's what they were building. They were building a Death Star array.
Yo, this is where is come in, right?
So yeah, that's man. Where.
Yep. Well, I just saw it live. Well, now it's a minus. Like what?
Yeah.
Now the finale.
That's what he helped build his own destruction. So
correct. Okay then. So that is our Andor finale recap. So Roy, thank you so much. It's been an awesome year. It's been an awesome year. Isn't it? You were here from Moon Knight.
Well, from Doctor Strange. Well, Batman and Doctor Strange. Batman and Doctor Strange.
Yeah, because it really started with Batman, and then we just.
No, I did Doctor Strange too, which was before Batman.
Oh, yeah,
right? Yeah.
Which came out first?
Doctor Strange. It was like February. Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, okay.
Because Batman was March.
Yeah, Batman was March. So yeah, Doctor Strange.
Because I missed No Way Home because I refused to go in the middle of like the first wave of whatever that was, Omicron, to the movie theater. Like I was literally about to buy tickets, and then everyone's like, I have Omnicron. I'm like, you know what?
Like, nah, it's fine because that it would have started there. It would have started there. But yeah, so wow, it's November. December is in a couple of weeks, and we've really done this. So
Basically a year.
yeah, so Wednesday, come back for our Guardians recap. We'll be doing that with Kyle. So yeah, that's and that will really be it for our comic and Disney Plus show recaps, and maybe we'll do Stranger Things, season 5, whenever that's next.
That's 2024. It's not gonna be 2028.
Oh, it's not next year.
I mean, they have not said what it is, but
Because there was a screener for like a couple of episodes. Yeah, okay.
All right, tell me on the.
Yeah, when we're done. But yeah, thank you very much for watching Drunk. Appreciate it. Come back tomorrow for the sports show because yeah, we're back on that.
I'm excited to do that.
Oh
hear
yeah,
about Brady.
Congratulations. Thanks for beating Aaron Rodgers. Like, oh my god. And you didn't just beat the crap out of him. You got hurt. Listen, I was so happy.
Brady completely collapsed. It was a great
day. To be honest, I don't care what happens Monday Night Football because my team sucks. But honestly, the two best things that could have happened to me happened yesterday. Aaron Rodgers gets hurt.
Hey, and the Sixers have been winning. So
right. And Jordan Love balls out. Oh, okay. Like, anyway, so thank you for watching. We'll catch you Wednesday for the Christmas special and holiday special, and we will see you next year at some point for
Secret Invasion.
Yes. Oh man, thank you, Roy. It's been fun.
Of course, my pleasure.